BP has had to walk back from comments it made about having moved on from its failed Anglo American bid. Chairman Ken McKenzie stated at a shareholder meeting that the bid was a nice-to-have and not a must-do, and so the miner had now moved on. But following this, an announcement by the firm has been made to clarify that McKenzie's comments weren't intended as an official statement under UK takeover rules. As a result, BHP is still allowed to make a fresh approach for Anglo after its current standstill ends later next month. Anheuser-Busch InBev's third quarter results have been tough to swallow. The world's largest beer maker has reported profits, revenue and volumes all well behind forecasts. That's as the firm sold less ale in key markets such as the United States, Mexico and China. But to soften the blow, the brewer has announced a $2 billion share buyback over the next 12 months and raised its full-year guidance. AB InBev now expects full-year organic core profit growth of between 6 and 8%. That compares to a previous forecast of 4 to 8%. CEO Mikhail Dukaris says he is confident in the company's ability to deliver. Adcorp has posted a near 5% rise in half-year revenue, but the gains didn't filter down to the human resource specialist's bottom line. Headline earnings per share during the period slipped close to 15%. That's as a result of once-off restructuring costs. The firm says while this has impacted earnings now, these actions will drive significant long-term efficiencies. A dividend of 13.4 cents has been declared. This is a reduction of 16.7% on the prior period's payout. Renergen has slipped further into the red. The onshore gas group has posted an interim headline loss per share of 45 cents. That's from a loss of 29 cents previously. The firm says this reflects the impact of a reduction in the gross profit contribution from the group's operations and higher operating costs during the commissioning phase. MTN's Nigerian operations continue to come under pressure. The business managed to eke out a profit of 4.13 billion naira in the third quarter. That equates to about 42 million rand. But for the 9 months ended September, the firm's losses widened. That's largely due to naira depreciation. Higher energy costs and inflation also weighed. Nigeria is MTN's biggest market. Oceana expects to reel in higher profits. The fishing group says headline earnings per share will be between 15 and 19% higher for the full year. That's thanks to a strong showing during the group's first half. Oceana will release its results on the 25th of November. Pan-African Resources says its Mogale tailings retreatment operation has been successfully commissioned. This was done ahead of schedule and below budget. The project is expected to supplement the miner's current production profile by more than 50,000 ounces a year at an all-in sustaining cost of around $1,000 per ounce. In developments further afield, British Finance Minister said she would raise taxes by $52 billion a year. This in her first budget, and as she accused the previously ruling Conservative Party of leaving public services broken after their 14 years in power. Here's more detail in this package report.
Britain is on course for big tax rises and more public spending. Finance Minister Rachel Reeves delivered her first budget. She said she would raise taxes by $52 billion or £40 billion and invest heavily.
Change must be felt. More pounds in people's pockets. An NHS that is there when you need it. An economy that is growing, creating wealth and opportunity for all. Because that is the only way to improve living standards. And the only way to drive economic growth is to invest, invest, invest.
Reeves was scathing about the previously ruling Conservative Party. She accused them of leaving public services broken after their 14 years in power. She further said Labour inherited a $28.5 billion shortfall in public finances when it came to power in July.
Any Chancellor standing here today would have to face this reality. and any responsible Chancellor would take action.
First reactions to the speech suggested investors had taken the plans well as government bond prices rose. One leading economic think tank believes the tax hikes would be equivalent to 1.25% of economic output. That was only surpassed in recent history in 1993 by a budget plan under the Conservatives. Reeves also said she would raise the rate of social security contributions paid by employers to 1.2 percentage points. That will raise it to 15% from April next year, and the move could raise an extra $32.5 billion a year in 5 years' time. Company bosses had warned higher taxes on them could hurt Labour's promise to turn Britain into the fastest growing Group of Seven economy. Reeves announced a string of other revenue-raising moves. They included changes to the tax rules on capital gains and inheritances and tax paid by non-domiciled residents. The government also said that she would increase the day-to-day health budget by $29.33 billion. And Reeves also aims to accelerate around $90 billion of investment through the newly created National Wealth Fund to drive investment and build new infrastructure.
And Shell reported third quarter profits of $6 billion, exceeding forecasts by 12%. This as weaker oil refining and trading results were offset by higher LNG sales. Here's more insight on those numbers.
Shell had a third quarter to remember, while rival Total Energies endured one it'd rather forget. London-based Shell report third quarter profits hit $6 billion during the period. It beat forecasts by 12% as weaker oil refining and trading results were offset by higher LNG sales. But French major Total saw net income hit by a 3-year low over the same quarter. It fell to $4.1 billion as the firm was hit by collapsing refining margins and upstream outages. Adjusted net income was down 37% from a year earlier. It was also down close to 13% from the previous quarter and missed analyst expectations. Global refining margins have dropped sharply in recent months and have hurt energy majors. That's due to weaker economic activity and the startup of several new refineries in Asia and Africa. Oil prices also fell by 17% over the quarter, piling on further pressure. Thursday's results followed a disappointing update from BP earlier this week. The British giant reported a 30% drop in Q3 profit, hitting its lowest in almost 4 years. BP was also weighed down by weaker refining and oil trading.